Hey guys, I'm gonna get back to work on this old car. Today is Wednesday, the 21st. So I'm gonna get to work on this car, doing some more welding. It's kind of nice outside right now. It's not too cold, but I'm like halfway through the day now. I've been prepping because we are fixing to get supposedly a big freeze. I'm gonna continue welding on the floor pans. I've been welding up on this old car, and I've got the firewall area here finished up. As far as this inner fender area right here, where the wheel tub was at, I've got that finished and closed up, and then I've started welding along the inner rocker panel. Got the floor pan in welded on 3 sides there, and down the entire length of the inner rocker. And so now I just got to come back and weld a little bit on the underside. All right, guys, back out here again today. It's Thursday, the 22nd of January. I went ahead and got the firewall patch panels up there done. I still got that little one there, but I got this whole floor right here finished out, except for over there to where I'm gonna be probably adjusting the tunnel. And I've started working my way back. I've got to do a patch right there. I've got that back there welded. I got this plate right here welded back down. So I've got some holage there I gotta fill, and a little bit right there. And like I said, I gotta do that one and then make a patch for there and right here. So good bit of welding. But yesterday I spent several hours getting all this shaped out, getting all this done. And then after, like I said, after I get all this here done, it's all going to get smoothed back out. And then get underneath the car and work on welding up any openings or seams down there. So I'm going to try to, where there's going to be any holes or anything, weld it up. And then I can come back with seam sealer, seal it, keep water out of it, So just getting back at it. Well, I've got a lot of pretty much most of this rear done on the passenger side. Like I said, there's a few things I need to go back and weld as soon as I get like the tunnel and stuff figured out. I'm gonna leave it like it is for right now. I'm not gonna touch anything else up here. I'm like, what I'm doing is I'm just going ahead and welding everything up. I'll come back and clean everything up before I do the do the body work with the filler and stuff. But when it comes time to start doing the body filler and stuff, I'll come back with a flat disc, thin wheel, and clean up all the weld and do any patching I have to do, any other small patching I have to do. But I'm just trying to get all the big stuff done now. So now I think I'm going to go ahead and start trying to mock up the back for that driver's side rear. See if I can get that cut out and make a new plate for that. So we'll get started on that. All right, so more than likely what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same thing I did to the front frame rails. Is back here where on the upper side here, there's really not much corrosion, but back here where there is, I'll probably end up chopping some of this off. This tube right here, you see, that's where the rear shock, the rear springs used to mount at the back. It had a shackle that ran down to the rear spring. So I'm going to clean this up a good bit, put some type of, I got that 3/8 inch steel. I'll probably make a spacer that that caps off this entire end, and then probably just cut that since this right here is really not needed here on this one side. But what I'm going to do is that 2x2 inch tubing I have, that's what I'm going to use, and I'm going to cut a piece that goes between this frame rail and the other frame rail, and that will be my brace in between the because it used to have that brace that went between here and there that was also the rear hanger for the fuel tank hangers. But I since I don't need that anymore, I'll just put that 2x2 section, weld it all the way around, all the way across, and that 2x2 will also it will also sit below this rear right here where that other one was, you know, strengthen up this whole back end. So that'll be good on that. But yeah, that'll look good. It'll look good. I'll box out I'll box out the entire section back here and strengthen up this rear end. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna sort of clean up this edge here, create a 90-degree piece that will come along here, and then I can use that shrinker and stretcher and get my curve right, set that in there, weld that in, and then I can cut me a piece that will fit in here, and I can tack up here. And what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of that lip on it so it sort of sits over top of this, and I'll go ahead and get my air chisel, knock these two pieces of here off, or my grinder, either one, whichever one does it quicker. And but I'll put a lip on it, and that way it lips over this, lips over this, lips over this. All right, so I took and I did a little bit of shrinking on this piece, stretched it around. This here is going to go in here. So I had these pieces of sheet metal here. They're thicker, 16 gauge. So this is a 16 by 12 inch. So I just laid it down on the floor, traced what I need out from underneath. And what I'll do is I'll give it a little bit of a 1/4 inch over from the cut line, and that should allow me to have a little bit of a lip over. I've sort of cut this angle right here to match the curve down there, and then I can do the rest of that from there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and tack right here and start working my way back, hammering this shape, because this dips down in right here. So hammering back, shaping this. I'm good all the way around the edge. If you see what I'm saying, come back, down, and then back. And I can basically make a Z that'll weld to the top of this plate, to the top of this plate, and go around and then shape all that. And that will fix a lot of this. Alright guys, I think I'm going to call it there for today. It's like 4:15 or so, and I've got to get this car in the garage, which means I got to move some stuff around, and because I've got to do some other work, go run some errands and stuff. But I'm going to do a quick walk around, show you what we've got done so far. I've cleaned up a little bit here and there. So, you know, I've got some, it's not exciting to, it kind of is exciting to me, but I've got some other news we're going to do around. But so far we've got this all, you know, started on the patch. I've got to make a piece that goes right through here, then over, and that will seal this off. I've got to come on around here with another piece and patch that. That will seal all this off, because it's got to come down and it's got to bend under, and that would seal all that off. I'm gonna do a little bit of work right here on this, but on the inside, you know, now that I've got it all sort of picked up, you can see floors are in, looking good. Got all the holes patched, got everything welded up. Still waiting on tunnel, just because I don't want to, you know, if I have to move my mount, and then I've got that up there welded up, I still got to do the firewall there a little bit, but that's not a big issue. And over there, cool thing is, I thought I was going to move the tunnel up. I may or may not. So the gentleman who has the other Javelin that has done all the work, the reason he's moved his tunnel up is because he lowered the car by like a couple inches. So there's a possibility I won't have to move the tunnel. If I don't have to move the tunnel, I'll just go ahead and weld all that up solid, be good. I won't know though until I get the suspension and motor and everything and the transmission in. But that's not a big issue. That's a couple hours of welding, you know, patching and welding. Not a big issue. You know, this right here, I'm gonna flatten that off and then body fillet and stuff. Like I said, I still got to get underneath it. Whenever I'm 100% sure that, you know, the tunnel's okay, I'll weld up the floor pans from the outside also. I've got them welded from the inside, but not the outside. That's not a big issue though, because I have a ton of welding to do under the body for all the floor patch, because I'm going to weld from underneath back to the patches, so everything will be welded on the outside and on the outside. I've got everything welded on the inside, pick it up, weld everything underneath the bottom, and then go back, flatten it all out, and primer and make it look pretty. All right, she's in. I don't know, might be able to see a little bit better all the patches I had to do. So where I did all the patches were places where the metal was holy, and I checked underneath and looked back at all the metal, and it's just those areas that were super thin, so I would make the patch larger than the actual holes and weld to the good metal. And when I come back and do the cleanup and like the welding underneath and clean up underneath, gonna use that lizard skin. It's they have a heat and a sound proofing. I'll do the entire inside and trunk area, and then also underneath. Talking to my buddy who has the other Javelin, he's doing his on the outside halfway up the firewall, which is probably what I'll do too. And that'll sort of help alleviate some of the heat from the exhaust. But it's looking good. I'm happy with what we've got done over the last couple weeks. I've got to get everything put away though, just in case the ice storm does hit. Models for the ice storm keep changing. We're not sure what it's actually going to do yet. I've seen, 3 inches of ice. I've seen that's going to miss us one way or the other. I don't want this out in the super cold and then that tent collapse, you know what I'm saying? It's got a pretty steep roof, but if ice starts accumulating on the outside of that, it's going to take it down more than likely. So it is what it is. But anyways, we will return when temperatures come back up a little bit and I've got time to get on it again. So like I said, we'll see what happens. And we'll see. Might get to work on my buddy's Javelin. That'd be awesome. I don't mind doing stuff for people, and he said he's sort of just needing someone to get the tunnel back in shape. For his car, his body was pretty straight. I think he said he bought the car down in Birmingham. It had hardly no rust on it whatsoever, unlike this one. This one, I really don't care what the metal looks like as far as floor pans going in and the welds and stuff, because you're not going to see any of this stuff when it's all good. I'm making mine as strong as I can using what I have. For his, I'm going to try, since we're just patching up the tunnel work, I'm going to try to really make the patches look good. I'm going to seam them down both sides so everything fits. I'm going to weld on the top and underneath. And he said he would do all the cleanup and smoothing. So I'm fine with that. It'd be fun. And y'all get to see sort of what I have in mind for this car, as far as some of the work in the engine bay and other little things here and there that I've also thought of. And it's just so funny that this man and me had such a similar idea to the car, and we had never met. And he just happened to see I guess I think somebody told him that somebody else was building a Javelin similar to his. So, you know, things happen. But we'll let you guys go. Have a good one. I am dirty as all get out. Holy cow. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see ya.